T6 or better, something really strong. And that's what they're doing to hold them in place. Okay? That's the most sought after, that's the most used for the conversions. As a matter of fact, that's it. That's what they're using for a mount. That's all that's holding that thing in there. Not much, is it? Okay? The other thing is look how they hold the thing in place. Doggone bike. Is these 4 bolts to the frame, these 4 bolts to this plate. That's it.
Got that 5th one on the outside.
Okay. This one here, they're normally hanging exhaust or something off of it. They're not actually using that as a mount. Okay? This is a softail box also. Okay?
So those first 3 are all softails right there, or what?
Yeah. That's also softail. What do you think this one here is? Yeah. This is the FL box. I don't have a dyno box here. Okay? Notice we got the oil pan incorporated into the bottom of the doggone transmission. Okay? One thing that you want to keep in mind, if you ever get a bike where it's transferring fluid, and what I mean by transferring fluid, the transmission oil is winding up in the engine oil. Okay? It's usually a problem with the case. Okay? You pull the pan down, you're
Is that
going
about
to...
the engine or the primary?
Engine.
Engine.
It's only on those FLs though, right? Not those.
Not the soft
Yeah.
FLs and Dynas use the transmission case as the top half of the engine oil pan. All right? So if we're getting transmission oil down into the engine oil, we check the gasket, we check the O-ring. If we don't find anything, then my suggestion to you guys is, you ever seen that dye that they put in oil for leak checking? Put it in there. Put it in the transmission, go run the bike, then bring the bike back, check the dye with a black light, see if that's what's going on.
Them UV lights?
Yep. Okay. I've had probably a half a dozen of them I've had to change the case on for that exact reason.
So with those mounts right there, when you go like to the pan or nuck, we use a soft tail chain. They're perfect or what, or how much
Nope.
fab you got to do to them?
The transmission itself, you don't do a whole bunch to, but you have to build brackets. Okay. The other thing you get into, how many of you have pulled clutches off of pre-85 bikes? Dave? What's different on the pre-85s than these?
Different?
Yeah. What's different about those transmissions, even if they're 5 speeds? These are all late model here.
Rocket arm.
Okay, you're correct. You're not going to have a pulley on them, you're going to have a sprocket. Okay? They do make sprockets to fit these late model ones so you go chain drive. There's one other real big difference when you're going to do a conversion like this.
Is that starter mounting plate, everything all right?
Okay?
Like you got to
You have to get all the clutch pieces that go with it. There's 2 things going on. Most of the early stuff is kicker.
Yeah, so I was going to say the pans, some of the pans had starters, but before that it was all
None of that
kickers.
stuff interchanges with this stuff.
The shaft's different too?
David, that's what I was looking for. This shaft right here has a taper and a Woodruff key. They couldn't keep the clutches tight on those in the old days. Right, Rudy? Constantly coming loose. What happened when you tried to over-torque them?
Leaks, man.
Well,
Don't they?
yeah, the clutch hub splits. And they, like Rudy says, they do leak. Okay, so these are some of the things you got to consider when you're messing with this stuff. Okay? You can, through Chinese chrome, as I call it, get sprockets that'll fit onto this stuff. There's also some companies out there that will take this transmission, turn it into a 6-speed, and then what they'll do is the final drive comes out this side.
Like on an old Sportster.
Right-hand drive. Okay? So those are some of the options and some of the things that get done out there in the field with these things. You can see how this can get real confusing real fast. Trying to build a custom bike.
So what about that plate